morning, YouTube. First things first, we're checking the news this morning. We have some USD news that just came out in the last minute. Empire State Manufacturing Index. Looks like it came out quite bad for the US dollar, to be honest. Can't say I have a lot of input on what that means, but we'll quickly swap over to our trading view. So right here, AUDCAD, this is a trade we were looking at yesterday. We didn't end up getting into it. We had these multiple levels, these trend lines. I think we had originally, if you look at the Friday trade, set the entry down here at 9022, and then had set the stops. Yeah, 15 pip stop, 30 pip take profit. Ended up changing my placement of where I wanted to enter to right around up here. And it ended up hitting 922 and then just dropping. However, obviously we can see it didn't end up hitting the take profit. Would have ended up hitting the stop loss. So either way, not a terrible trade. Let's continue to view some of our other trades. So GU, this one was also a trade call out on Friday. Yeah, this one was called. It was put in the Telegram. It was a limit order. The limit order was set for 1.244, and I think he came as low as 1.247 or something like that. 1.2445. So within about 5 pips of the order, he came and then just immediately rejected and went back up. So kind of missed out on this guy, but that's okay. NZDCAD, I think we were monitoring it for a possible buy off this zone, but just didn't feel like it was a very strong entry, so it was just more of a monitoring idea. And then just to review some of the trades from last week, this is the CADJPY trade from last week. He's started to continue to go upwards a little bit. This is the US yen trade, UJ. This is the EURCAD loss, GBPAUD loss, EURUSD loss, EURNZD double loss. So loss up here, loss down here. And we could see, unfortunately, price had sort of just scraped a little bit lower than our stop. I think stop was 0.723, and it went as low as about almost 0.72. Had we gone for a full 100 pip stop loss, making this a 2-to-1 trade, it would have not hit our stop. Yeah, it would have got close, but would not have hit the stop, and then would have went on to hit the 210 pip take profit. But it's not the way she goes. Ended up hitting stop loss. The GU trade here, this was a winning trade off the rejection level here. Honestly, within a pip of hitting stop loss. And then AUDCHF, again, another nice little rejection trend trade here that hit the 2R. So those are sort of all the trades from last week. Now let's sort of preview the market for this week. AUDCAD. Probably a better entry on the shorter time frame, like similar to what was taken before. We're just going to continue to monitor AUDCAD, AUDCHF. Again, not anything super interesting. I see he's obviously on this bit of a downtrend. He has this double bottom. He's sort of been meandering around this level of market structure. AUDJPY, I think we did discuss a potential buy at this level, but just because I generally like to buy my levels of market structure quite close to trend lines as well, I couldn't sort of justify it. It just felt like on this trend line he had broken underneath, and for this trend line he was significantly too far away, so we did not end up getting into this trade. But had you have gone for it, I would have probably put my stop loss somewhere around this level and targeted 2 to 1, so would not have hit take profit yet, but would be significantly in profits. But that's not how it goes. AUDNZD. Can't say I see much here. AUDUSD again, broken underneath this trend line. Not seeing much. CADCHF, respecting this trend line, but not enough levels of structure. It's kind of disjointed here, so not much of a good opportunity. Although I guess there was this bit of a quadruple top over these 3 days that could have signified a good entry, as he was struggling to break above this level, but not something I was super worried about. CADJPY, nothing super keen. EURAUD, I think we were looking to maybe come up to this level and then down, so could be an opportunity once he comes up here to get into a sell. We'll see how the market structure looks when he does, or if he ever does. EURCAD, not much value here. CHF, this could be a potential trade on the shorter time frame. On the 5-minute, yeah, I could see this as a breakout to the upside or a breakout to the downside. Either way, looking for a break and retest, so something like this, or like this. If it continues to form this way, this could be a good opportunity on the shorter time frame. Either way, you know, if we're looking for a buy, we've got all this potential up till here. If we're looking for a sell, we've got these double lows here that could bounce off of. Yeah, we've got these lows down here, lows down here. Not to say it couldn't go lower, it can always go lower, but less resistance, or more resistance to the downside. Support, I suppose. Jeez, getting my terminology wrong. Alright, let's have some sip of our morning coffee. Okay. Damn, that coffee's good. Alright, sorry, looking on the wrong time frame. We always start on the 1 hour time frame and then do a quick scan of the 5-minute right after. Okay. I could sort of take out these trend lines as they are, these levels of market structure as they're kind of invalidated, redraw some new ones. We've definitely got something down there. Say kind of has broken out of this trend line, but not much I see. EURGBP, It's obviously broken out below this level of support, similar to like EURCHF could, you know, just because we have these nice levels of support does not mean you can't break below it. Otherwise, nothing. EURNZD. God. In a sense, I want to sell, but I wouldn't necessarily say this is like a super strong level of structure. So you had these rejections here turned into support. Price meandered here before dropping down and has now come back up. We're at this trend line level. I might have been more inclined to sell at this level if these levels of rejection here, so like here, 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 were all a little higher. If they also are more or less coincided just up here, I'd be more interested. Remember, trading is a sense of self-fulfilling prophecy. So what I mean by that is the more things people see, the more they're all gonna trade simultaneously on something. That's a really shitty way to describe it, but what I mean is if you're looking for something so specific that only you can see it, there's a less likelihood that it's meaningful. But if you see something that everybody can see, you know, everybody sees that this was at a previous, say, all-time high, like gold. You know, gold's a good example. Gold had the previous all-time high at like 2050 or 2060, reached that all-time high a couple years later, hit 2065, and just had a huge rejection that day. I think it dropped like $100, which would be, I don't know, 10,000 pips in a day. I can't, probably getting that wrong, but you get the idea. Everybody saw the previous high. It was very easy and simple to see. So everybody thought to either sell their buys or to short the gold market. So the more pieces of resistance or tops we can see, I think generally speaking, the better it is. The more it provides more signals for people like myself and other people to all short the market. It's not exactly a foolproof system. It's probably actually pretty terrible. Again, this is Forex astrology at its finest, using rectangular boxes and diagonal lines to try to predict something as complex as the Forex markets. It's kind of ironic, it's kind of funny, and it's kind of humorous. There are people that read thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of fundamental analysis regarding currencies, country economics, and here we are using lines, boxes, to try to figure out where price is going. It's just ironic. Again, this could be a good opportunity. Something like, something like this could be a good sell. Maybe to as low as here. I mean, let's be real, I always go for 2R, so I would not sort of pick that and then go down to a 2 to make it 2R. I wouldn't just arbitrarily pick 816. I usually pretty specifically pick my stop loss and then arbitrarily pick my take profit, which I know a lot of people don't agree with. A lot of people think your take profit should be very specifically around levels of structure, which in a sense it probably could and should be, but I like to be quite specific with my stops and then quite arbitrary with my take profits. Arbitrary as in they're not based around levels of structure, they're just based around 2R trades. But yeah. So that's EURUSD, GBPAUD. Can't say I see a soul. I can't say I see a whole lot here on the higher time frame. On the hourly, GCAD, obviously meandering sideways here, just at this previous level of resistance, turned into support. I mean, we've definitely got this uptrend in the last little while. I can't say he's definitely far away from this resistance of 1.737. So we're just going to monitor for now. We'll see what happens. There could be an opportunity to get into a trade here, but nothing special. Okay, same thing. GBPCHF. He's sort of in this crazy big descending wedge. Descending triangle, I suppose. Whereas he's in this ascending wedge at the moment, or ascending channel, suggesting some good bullish momentum. He obviously had this huge rejection back in late March, early April, but now that he reached this level of support, he's got this high, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. A bit of a double top here, which is not ideal, but if he can continue to break out into a higher high and maybe come back down into here, I could look for a buy. So something like this. If it sort of plays out that way, that could be a good opportunity. But for now, we watch. Even maybe something like this, if he shoots off a little faster, something like that maybe. That way, instead of trying to play the resistance turn into support, we just buy this support level zone here, which was quite significant support here, 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 broken, and then support along here. Let's yeah, we'll monitor for that as our trade. GJ bounced off this level of structure just below the trend line. But is in this sort of wedge pattern again. Lower high, or high, lower high, lower high. So just gonna kind of monitor, not particularly looking at anything. GBPNZD again broke out of this level of structure. I can't say I'm super keen on anything I see on GBPNZD. GU, this was the trade we looked at the start. This had been called out in, for those that didn't listen to the start, this had been called out on Friday, unfortunately, and put into the Telegram group. Unfortunately, the entry was called at 1.244, and he went down to as low as I think 1.2445. So missed the entry by about 5 pips. So we're gonna scrap this guy, take that away, take that away, and we're just gonna monitor him for another day. NZDCAD again, Was looking to possibly get into a buy at this level, but wasn't super keen on what the market structure looked like, so we're just gonna stay out. NZDCHF was looking to sell at this level, but was not super keen on how the market structure was shaping up, and then eventually a lot of the Swiss franc pairs just plummeted, suggesting the Swiss franc was doing quite strong. I think it was based on GDP news. If I remember right, last week they had GDP news. Anyways. Oh yeah, that and the Kiwi just sharply dropped on all pairs. Sorry, probably more to do with the New Zealand dollar than the Swiss. Maybe. Tough to say. Anyways. NZDJPY, not anything I'm looking at right now. Lots of sideways market price data. And you had been looking to get into a short on this guy, but was really hoping this price action data was a bit more shifted to the left here. So you see these highs here, had they printed coinciding with this trend line, I definitely would have been on the game to sell something like right here. But because they kind of shifted over and weren't as close to the trend line, I just figured I wouldn't. I'd stay out, and again, there was this huge rejection at this level. You could see these big wick rejections on these days. Still could have been a good opportunity, and now we shattered through that that ascending channel, and he's kind of just hanging out there. So, well, hanging out down here. So we're just gonna monitor and see what happens. USDCAD bounced off this level of supports. Again, looking left, not seeing any super cool. Yeah, not seeing any super cool levels of function, yo. So not much for USDCAD. USDCHF continues to trade in this sort of channel here. We have this descending trend line. Can't say I see anything super ideal on the 1 hour, but we'll check back in on the 5 minute on everything in just a second. Almost done through everything. USDJPY. Again, not much we see. And then US 30. There is possibly some opportunity on US 30. And we see this bit of a wedge forming with some sort of data printing outside of it. This guy's definitely got an ascending wedge pattern. There could be some opportunity here on these guys. It's kind of tough. US 30 looks like he's printing sort of sideways and down. US 100 is printing upwards, and US 5 is sort of printing sideways, so an amalgamation of the two. But nothing really catches the eye. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of good trend following. This is golds. Can't say I see a whole lot on gold, at least not on the 1 hour. Alright, let's get on to the 5 minute. And we're gonna blitz through everything super fast on the 5 minute. Okay. Don't see much on AUDCAD here. Nothing here. Nothing here. Zilch. Nada. Nope. A bit more promising, but not really. Nope. Sideways price action. EURCHF was the one that we were possibly thinking of. We can see these higher lows printing out with this longer time frame descending trend line. We're gonna leave them for now, but we'll kind of see what happens. Could be an opportunity to the upside, could be an opportunity to the downside. Nope. Nope. Nothing. Nada. Sideways price action. You could go for a sell up top or a buy below, but I don't think there's enough confluences, at least personally. I don't think there's enough confluences to justify it. No. Looks like the British pound is doing pretty well. We'll check out our baskets in a second. See the different currency pairs and how they're doing. Just gonna plug my charger in. There we go. Nothing here. Nope. Nope. Not seeing anything on any of these guys. Yeah. So it looks like the yen is getting beaten up pretty bad. Again, if you want to see what I'm talking about, so here you go. So this is how I arrange. So I've got my 26 pair Forex list. I think it's 26 pairs. Anyways, it's just a single of each of my pairs. This one is a double of each of my pairs, and everything's organized into baskets. So this is my yen basket. So I actually have the JPY basket that shows it, but it gives me a good indicator here of seeing all the yen pairs side by side and seeing the percentages on the day. Sorry, the absolute value change on the day as well as the percentage change on the day. So I can quickly see that the weakest or strongest yen pair, depending on how you want to call it, is the AUDJPY, or the Australian dollar yen, which suggests to me that if I go down to my Australian dollar basket, that the Australian dollar is going to be quite strong today. Because out of all the yen pairs, it is the strongest yen pair. It's the one that's up the most percentage-wise, which would suggest that the Australian dollar is the strongest, followed by maybe the British pound. So let's go down. Let's go to the US dollar. US dollar is doing quite well. Sorry, poorly. You can see that against these pairs, it's down. So the only one it's up on is the yen. Everything else it's down on. And again, tracking it also as the DXY. or Dixie. You can see it's down, but not terribly. Again, the Australian one is the highest percent change, again suggesting the Australian dollar is doing the best. But the average change is about 23%. Canadian dollar, quickly scanned through, it's kind of middling. So this used to be how I would find my trade of the day. I would just find pretty much the biggest percent changers. So I would see that CHF is doing well across the board. No, Australian dollar is doing very well across the board against most pairs. And then I would find which one it's doing the strongest. So it's doing the strongest against the yen. It has made a 0.83% gain, and then I would just sort of mark up my levels of structure on this guy, and that way at least I knew I had sort of daily momentum on my side. And what I mean by that is on the day, since 2 o'clock yesterday, it's been up about 75 pips, and it's changed about 82%. Not to say that it would necessarily continue on, but I felt like it was a bit of a confluence, something I could add to my analysis. Anyways, I still do it from time to time, but I do like to use these baskets to help me know which pairs are doing, or how currencies are doing. But yeah, we'll go back to our regular one and I'll close it back up. And I think that's it for today, folks. I can maybe leave it on the Euro CHF. Nah, I don't think I want to leave it on. This is sort of the only guy we're looking at trading today. Could be looking at a buy or a sell. I mean, yeah, tough to say. Anyways, thank you for anybody who tunes in. Appreciate it. I'm going to be ending the stream now. I've been live for about 35 minutes. Cheers.